We're A-Game, a 100% Black-owned company with an all-natural product and world-class customer service. We're headquartered in California, and we manufacture, package, and ship right here in the United States. We ship to more than 125 distributors worldwide. Normal processing is 2 to 3 days, and we employ virtual tracking until our product is received. So, no matter where you are in the world, here we come, and we're bringing your A-game.
Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey, how is everybody today? Hopefully everybody's doing okay. Thank you, The Zone, for kicking it off. I got 105 people. I got 77 likes, pretty good. But let's see if we can get to 100. Wa alaikum assalam to everybody. Jumu'ah Kareem. You know, I heard about certain individuals having something disparaging to say about Emmett Till and Emmett Till's father. I caught wind of that. Hey, Miss Georgia. Okay. We're not going to dilly-dally too long. Hey, Nurse Juris. Hey, thank you, Franklin. Tell the hubby I said hi. Thank you, Frank. Okay. So we are going to continue a thought pattern, because yesterday I started the conversation about Black women wanting to be useless, selfish, and superior all at the same time in a relationship, which brought me to another thought, which was the fact that whether we want to realize it or not, I don't think anybody has ever truly brought this conversation up, is that we have heard long enough, especially over the past few years in this space. Thank you, Luke Casely. Thank you, sweetheart. We've heard in these spaces Black women talk about what their ideal relationship is like, which is what kind of led to yesterday's live stream, right? Because when they talk about what they want in a relationship, their ideals of what a relationship should be comprised of, what the man should do for them, all the things that should be happening in a relationship. Thank you, Miss Georgia Peach. All the things that should be happening. It's a bunch of useless nothing and a lot of selfishness. Thank you, Hank. And the reality is that the descriptions that we hear so many Black women get on social media and say is really a dysfunctional kind of relationship. And I don't know that anybody has ever truly examined it, but we're going to examine it today, this Friday of January 2022. We're going to examine the fact that so many, thank you pound for pound, so many black women have a dysfunctional ideal. How your ideal is dysfunctional. Thank you, Teddy Bear Trucker. And that dysfunctional ideal is a codependent relationship. Now, they claim that they want to be independent and that they are independent. We already know that that's cap. So many women that say they're independent are really relying on either government assistance, or they're relying on some man or something somewhere that's actually going to help them make it through. That's going to give them either enough to make ends meet, or they can make ends meet on their own, and the other men and the other forms of assistance or whatever gives them the extras. Okay, that's how they get the extras. But the reality is that they are codependent. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go through a Wikipedia post that defines codependency. And then we're going to talk about these points as we go through. So I'm going to need y'all to get y'all pens and paper and whatever else you got to get out to take these notes. But we're going to talk about it today. Because nobody calls this stuff out. Nobody really calls out the foolishness. Thank you, RDR. This for that masterpiece you dropped yesterday. I shared that video. Keep them coming. Thank you so much for the shares. And I need 200 likes. I got 220 people. I got 147 likes. So bam, 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 bam. You got to get the likes up. Bam, bam. You got to, So come on, get the likes up, please. Okay. So, thank you again, pound for pound. So them lips popping today, respectfully. Well, thank you. I appreciate the compliment. So we're going to read this article, but nobody really calls out this foolishness, especially in person or speaking rather than, or direct communication is what I want to say. Because I watch shows sometimes, and I'm not going to say no names, but it's the disrespect for me. But we're not even going to get on that. I might get on that later, because I heard an exchange that was so disrespectful on its face that I immediately got turned off. And I was like, okay, this is not entertainment. You know what? Yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and read this article. Let me get 200 likes so we can go ahead and take a look at this article, you guys. We're going to go ahead and get this started. Okay. Codependency. In sociology, codependency is a concept that attempts to characterize imbalanced relationships where one person enables another person's self-destructive tendencies, such as addictions, poor mental health, immaturity, irresponsibility, or underachievement, and or undermines the other person's relationship. Now, see that right there. Should I stop and come back to y'all? Okay, I gotta stop right here. Let me. I know I just started sharing. I know, but I got to come back to y'all now. I got to come back to you, because I got to talk to you about that. I got to talk to you about that first sentence, the defining sentence. In sociology, codependency is a concept that attempts to characterize imbalanced relationships where one person enables another person's self-destructive tendencies, such as, and it gives you some examples about what these self-destructive tendencies may be. Some common examples. What are they? Crimson Care, common examples. Addictions, poor mental health, immaturity, irresponsibility, or underachievement. If that ain't the vast majority of, if that's not these hyenas, I don't know what is. Hyena clans don't exist if that's not a demarcation of a hyena right there. That is how they want to carry relationships. This is what I meant yesterday when I was talking about the uselessness and all of the things that they want and prefer and crave a man to do for them. They want men to enable, not even fix. They don't even want fixing. They don't want fixing. And the reason how we know they don't want no fixing is because they don't want no correction. You can't be, your problems can't be solved. Issues can't be fixed if there is not first an acknowledgement of the issues in truth. And then secondly, there must be correction. You got to correct the incorrect behavior. You got to change it. You cannot. It is impossible to change, get a different outcome without changing nothing. It's just not possible. But this is the foundation of the kind of relationship that these hyenas want to have. This is what they want. This is a so-called good man. A good man, quote unquote, in their eyesight is a man that does not correct them. He just enables them. I got to write some of this stuff down. Because see, they hide. Sometimes I got to write because I forget later on. Want to hide behind empowerment. Empowerment really means enable me. Oh yeah, that's going to be good. Okay. I'm sorry. I do have to write things down. I have a stroke of genius. And I swear to you, 5 minutes later, I won't remember nothing. All right. Where was I? Oh, yes. This is the foundation of these relationships. They don't want fixing. They want enabling. Now, for the next part of this definition, this is how they need the men to be for them. Let's go ahead. And I'm going to share the screen one more time. Well, not one more time. We're going to come back to it. Now, let me continue to read. Definitions of codependency vary, but typically include high self-sacrifice. They need a man that's going to constantly fall on the sword for them. And I mean constantly. I mean sacrifice everything, even up to and including his actual literal life. A focus on others' needs. She need him to focus only on her needs. Suppressions of one's own emotions. She need him to suppress everything that he feel because her emotions have to take priority. And attempts to control or fix other people's problems. She need this man to be a fixer. She needs this man to constantly engage in the process of trouble, which is tied to problem solving. She needs him to be in constant problem solving while she produces constant trouble and threat. It never stops. This is what I mean when I say she's got a lot of fires for you to put out, and every time you put them out, there's a new fire. This is what I'm talking about. That's that codependent issue. She needs the man to have these traits for her. Okay? Now I'm going to skip down to this last sentence. Codependency is not limited to married, partnered, or romantic relationships, as co-workers, friends, and family can be codependent. We'll get to the other parts, the other people. But we're going to deal with the history. Let's read that. The idea of codependency may have its roots in the theories of German psychoanalyst Karen Horney. In 1941, she proposed that some people adopt what she termed a moving toward personality style to overcome basic anxiety. Essentially, these people move towards others by gaining their approval and affection, and subconsciously control them through their dependent style. They are unselfish, virtuous, martyr-like, faithful, and turn the other cheek despite personal humiliation. Approval from others is more important than respecting themselves. Now, before I go on, let me come back to you. Let me come back to you. Because that's actually important. That's actually really, really important. Okay? What's important about this? What's important about this is that I need 300 likes. But okay. What's important about this is the sentence about people moving towards others by gaining their approval and affection and subconsciously controlling them through their dependent style. This is the superior part. I'm codependent, I'm useless, I'm selfish, yet I want to be superior. I want to be in control of this dynamic. I need to be in control of this relationship, despite the fact that I'm the one in need of you, not the other way around. So the other traits that she needs these men to have for her is an unselfish, virtuous, martyr-like, a faithful, and this one is real important. She needs black men to turn the other cheek despite personal humiliation. See, she want to be able to do and say anything, literally anything, to any black man, including her own, quote unquote, her husband or whomever. And she want to be able to talk all the mess she can think of. And what is he supposed to do? What is he supposed to do with that? I know I probably missed somebody's super chat. Antoine, thank you so much. Saint Germain, thank you as well. What do he got to do? When she going a mile a minute and the neck roll is happening, and all of that breathing is going on. She got a lot of air she inhaling and exhaling when she talking to him. What do he have to do? What does a good man have to do? Y'all tell me in the chat. I need a little bit of participation today. He gotta accept it. He gotta take it. He gotta sit there and he gotta be talked to like a child, or worse than a child, a scalded dog. He gotta sit there like a scalded dog or a chastened child and just take it. Because I said what I said and all of that foolishness. Because that's part and parcel of the hyena mindset. Gotta humiliate, gotta talk crazy, gotta act a fool with a black man. Got to. It don't matter about his status. It doesn't matter about who he is. It doesn't matter about the person he is, what he got going in his life, the accomplishments, the ups, the downs. It doesn't matter who that man is or what that man represents. She gotta be able to talk crazy and humiliate and emasculate that man. Before I go back, thank you, Kendra. Before I go back to this article, I'm going to go back to the concept of the ideal relationship actually being unhealthy. Because this is unhealthy. Codependency in and of itself is termed as a behavioral disorder, a personality disorder. Okay? It's not normal. It's a dysfunction. It's a dysfunction. Because the real function in a relationship isn't codependency. It's interdependency. But we're not going to go there. We're going to stick right here to this codependent stuff. Because a codependent person is essentially the useless person in the relationship. And then they go a step further than being useless, because uselessness can almost imply neutrality, but it's not neutral. It's detrimental. Because that person is a drain in a relationship. This is actually one of the ways you can actually spot the person that's codependent. That's the energy vampire. That's the energy vampire. Every codependent person I know is an energy vampire. And I know a couple very well. They energy vampires. These are the people that will suck you dry. Okay? These are the women that every time you think about being in her presence, you feel drained even before you get there. You feel the drain of the past even before you get there. You already know that when you interact with this woman, it's going to be a problem. And the reason why the energy is being sapped like that is because they're codependent. They want to control you through your personality and wanting to help them, wanting to uplift them, wanting to assist them, which actually turns into enabling, not helping. Thank you, Sir Hale. We got to be able to tie these things together. She don't want help. She wants enabling. She does, because help means that I assist you to overcome these negative things to switch over to something positive. A positive way to have an interaction, not a negative way to have an interaction. So this is manipulation of the highest order. I'm going to use your personality against you. I'm going to use your love against you. I'm going to use your concern for me against you. This is why they tie it into addiction, because that's what an addict does. I've been around addicts too. And any of you who have been around an addict or have been the addict or you know an addict, that's what they do, especially crackheads. They want enablers. They don't want you to help them. They just want you to help them get their next high. That's not help. They use your concern for them against you. You will give them a place to stay. You will give them some money. You will give them, some food. You will give them this. You will give them that. You will be there when they call. When they have these emergencies, they can make their emergency your emergency. Every time they got something going on, they got to call you, and you got to drop your whole world to come see what they doing, to come save them, to come rescue them out of whatever's going on. Thank you, Reclaim Your Throne. Said G and Z BWs are to the point of straight selling WAP. Pay my bills, get my hair nails done. This man, you better say that. Yeah, it's the transaction at this point. I got 415 people. I got 330 likes. Come on, get the likes up. Get the likes up while we are in commercial break. We will be right back.
We interrupt this program to bring you a
All right, we back. I need 400 likes. Please, 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 please. Okay. So this is where that energy vampire this is where the energy vampire come from. The need to be enabled. Even when we hear it in these YouTube streets, in these social media avenues and platforms, they want to be enabled. They don't want to be helped. You got to drop what you're doing to come assist them in the foolishness that they do. Not give them a solution out of the foolishness, which is what I talked about earlier this week. They don't want solutions. The begging for and the request for solutions is all cap, because solutions require change and correction. And they don't want that. They don't like that. When you start talking about this is how we move forward, this is how we move forward in a positive direction, this is how we resolve these issues so that the next generation doesn't have to come to a YouTube space or whatever it's going to be called in the next 20 years to talk about these same issues with these same gynocrats and these same hyenas. Don't nobody want to talk about y'all 20 years from now. We need this to be fixed. We need this to be resolved. We're not doing this again in 2032, in 2042. This is why I'm kind of mad with y'all. Because y'all staying in this little circle. I'm talking to the women. Y'all are staying in this little circle and trying to recreate these echo chambers where you're always right. And we're not doing, shout out to Anton, the victim Olympics anymore. We're not doing that anymore. We're not running the victim marathon no more. Because even if you have been a victim the way you say, when is it time to move on? When is it time to climb out of that victimhood? When you gonna turn from a victim to a victor? When? When does that transformation take place? Y'all still harping on what you think men in the boomer and in the Gen X generation did to women, quote unquote. You ain't went through none of that. But I'm slightly diverging a little bit. Let me get back to it. We're going to go back to this article and talk a little bit about the romantic relationship. But then we're going to go into the familial relationships too. Okay. Romantic relationship dynamics. Some codependents often find themselves in relationships where their primary role is that of rescuer, supporter, and confidant. These helper types are often dependent on the other person's poor functioning to satisfy their own emotional needs. They're talking about when both parties are codependent. Codependent relationships are marked by intimacy problems, dependency, control, denial, dysfunctional communication and boundaries, and high reactivity. Let me read that one more time, because this is the type of relationship black women want to have. Intimacy problems. She ain't giving it up no more. And it's all these mysterious reasons why she's not turned on anymore. All of these little mysterious reasons as to why her husband can't get her in the bed no more. After the wedding, after the ring, after the cars and the homes and all of this stuff has been purchased and given, now all of a sudden she's got these issues where she can't be intimate with him no more. She don't feel like it. He ain't romantic enough. You know, the manipulation starts with weaponizing the sex in the relationship in order to control the outcomes and control his behavior by stenching out, giving, or withholding intimacy. Dependency. She want to depend on him. Everything that he does should benefit her. She needs to be able to depend on him for everything. Thank you, Scam Likely. Control. She likes to be in control. Covertly or overtly. Usually covertly. Usually this takes place as a manipulation that the man may or may not be able to detect that she's doing this. Denial. She denies she do any of this. All of the things that she do, and you can listen to it on these panels, in these chat rooms. The women deny. Oh, we're not doing that. That's not all women. That's only a few women. I don't know no women like that. You know women like that? What kind of women you choosing that do that? What type of women are you around that does that? You know what kind of women do that. You the type of woman that do that. You stay doing it. You constantly do it. That's all you do. Dysfunctional communication and boundaries. Talking in circles, answering questions with questions, deflecting, obfuscating, gaslighting, smoke screening, flat out lying. Not to mention the crossing of boundaries, invading her husband's privacy, taking his phone, going through his social media, going through his clothes, going through his things. no boundary, no sense. She don't want him to have no sense of self or autonomy. She don't want him to have no agency. That's not her. And high reactivity. She don't respond, she react. And she react emotionally to everything. Everything he do, the littlest thing that he say, the smallest thing that he do. And she perceives it some type of way because of all of her insecurities, all of her issues, all of her hang-ups. She perceives it some type of way, and now we got an argument. Now we gotta argue. We gotta argue now. This is where, let me take a look at you before I continue. This is where we get these men. If y'all wondering where the argument come from in the middle of the night, she wake you up with it like your mama used to wake you up with a whooping. Thank you, Luke Casely. So this is absolutely on point. I can think of one channel where you can see this behavior in real time. Exactly. Exactly. Men, if you want to know where that argument come from at 12:30 a.m., up out your sleep. And now she want to talk to you about some stuff she found in your phone because she has overstepped your privacy boundaries. Looking for something to have a problem with, found something, whether it's true or not, don't matter. That's where the argument come from. Nowhere. It come from the pit of her insecurities. That's where it come from. That's where it's coming from. It ain't coming from nowhere else. It's coming from the pit of her insecurity and all of her codependency that she's projecting onto you. The problem she having in here, the problem she having in here, and now got to be your problems. That's where the argument come from. A bathing soul, thank you so much. You come in from work, the last time y'all had a conversation, it was a decent conversation. Wasn't no argument, wasn't no strife. You feel like, okay, we're early around about lunchtime. We had a good conversation, so it should be cool when I get in the house. But lo and behold, when you get in the house, you can immediately feel the energy. But it's weird. It's weird in here. I know that's what y'all be thinking. Whoa. I was kind of in a good mood a little bit. Thought I might get some food. Might even get a little something going tonight. You know, I might be able to get a little something going. Okay, all right. I'm in a good mood. It's weird up in here. You see her, you know. Hey, baby, how you doing? Hi. Here we go. Now it's some kind of problem. You have no idea where this problem come from. This is why it's got to be chaotic. This is why it's got to be chaotic. This is why you can't have no peace. Let's go back. I'm going to finish that part of the article. We're going to go back. All right. Now, we said intimacy from high reactivity. Often there is imbalance, so one person is abusive or in control. That's usually them. They like to cry foul that it's the men that's being abusive and he controlling. or supports or enables another person's addiction, poor mental health, immaturity, irresponsibility, or underachievement. Commonly observable characteristics of codependency. Here's where it get real interesting. Intense and unstable interpersonal relationships. I swear to you, if this is not black women's so-called relationships, they intense and crazy. The relationships are both intense and they crazy. They unstable, they ain't got no foundation, they ain't had no conversation, they ain't based on nothing. It ain't based on nothing. Do you understand me? And it's crazy. It's just chaos. It's just a world of chaos. Inability to tolerate being alone, accompanied by frantic efforts to avoid being alone. That's why she got so many men that come through. Trust and believe. A lot of these women don't really want all them men to be coming through. Thank you, 39 Dina. They would be okay with one man, but they can't. Cause she ain't got what it takes to get the type of man that she would be okay with. So she got to try to fill these voids with random men. One get her hair done, one get her nails done, one pay a light bill. That kind of foolishness. Autophobia. Chronic feelings of boredom and emptiness. These women is miserable out here. They empty inside. You can hear it when they talk. Subordinating one's own needs to those of the person with whom one is involved. She want him to do that for her. Overwhelming desire for acceptance and affection. She want this undivided attention all the time. Perfectionism. He gotta be perfect. Over controlling. She control him and every piece and every component of these relationships. External referencing, dishonesty and denial. We went over that. Manipulation. We went over that. Lack of trust. She don't trust him, which is why she does not submit. She don't listen, and she does not allow his leadership to resolve her issues. Low self-worth. A lot of these females is running around here with low self-worth. This is why I chose the thumbnail that I did. And last but not least, the victim mentality. If that is not black women all the way across the board, I don't know who it is. I don't know who it is. She want to control. See, this is why I chose the thumbnail. The thumbnail is an older woman around my age doing like a back shot. I think that's the one I chose. She either's doing a back shot. I think that's the one. Because a woman around my age still taking back shots. I don't care what your body look like. You can be looking like the best model, and I mean your body can just be 5-star, gold star. I don't care. I don't care what my body look like. Thank you, Eric. So OMG, all of this was my ex. The constant putting out fires, circular arguments were draining. It took years of therapy to find out it wasn't me. I don't care what my body looked like. I don't care what kind of weight loss journey I went on. I don't care what it is. I would never, especially at my age. I wouldn't have done it younger. But I almost can forgive a 16, 17, 18-year-old girl. But you would never in a million years. Do you understand me? As a 43, I'll be 44 this year in June, God willing. And I would never, do you understand? I would not dare get on anybody's social media platform and take a selfie with a back. is you, if you don't knock it off. And the reason that I would never do that is, first of all, I am a woman, not a girl, not a GMO female. Shout out to Danica. I am a feminine, grown woman who practices a value system and a spiritual system that would never dare allow me to lower myself, to take a back shot, like that's the only thing I can offer this world. And y'all ladies need to think about that. The next time you want to take a little fly shot and put it on IG thinking you fly, remember, you telling the world, this is my highest value. This all I got. This what I got. This all I got. This the best I got. I wouldn't dare. And no feminine woman that I know of would dare. Now let's talk about a little something. We're going to get into how this plays out in non-romantic relationships. Y'all realize this is how the son husband is created, right? Through codependency. Let's go back real quick to the list, the part of this about family. See, this is why your family value out of order too. You out of order. Anyway, family dynamics. In the dysfunctional family, the child learns to become attuned to the parent's needs and feelings instead of the other way around. That is black mamas. That is black mamas in just about every hood that I have ever known anybody to be in. You got to be, as the child, attuned to them. They not attuned to you. Your needs are not prioritized. You learn to prioritize them. Parenting is a role that requires a certain amount of self-sacrifice and giving a child's needs a high priority. A parent can, nevertheless, be codependent toward their own children if the caretaking or parental sacrifice reaches unhealthy or destructive levels. Generally, a parent who takes care of their own needs emotionally and physically in a healthy way will be a better caretaker, whereas a codependent parent will be less effective or may even do harm to a child. Codependent relationships often manifest through enabling behavior, especially between parents and children. She needs the children to be trained to enable her foolishness and her instabilities, her immaturity, her poor mental health. The child got to tiptoe and walk on eggshells about this. Another way to look at it is that the needs of an infant are necessary but temporary, whereas the needs of the codependent are constant. They never let you grow out of this. Children of codependent parents who ignore or negate their own feelings may become codependent. Now, that is the foundation of where the son husband comes from. That is a codependent relationship. She teaches the son how to cater to her and prioritize her needs over theirs. And she never prioritizes her children's needs over her own, which is the job of a mother. That's the main job of a mother. As long as you are raising that child, and I do not understand how women who can carry a child 9 months, have it, go through the pain of childbirth, can look at their kid and not sacrifice when I did it for 2 children that I did not have. And I was overwhelmed with maternal instinct to continue to sacrifice for them. Their needs were above my own. Especially in their formative years, in the year where I had to mold them to become adults and inculcate these values, the spiritual system. I had to teach them that stuff. That what they had needs more, they had more right over me than I ever had over them. I never understood that. Why would I make them cater to me? That's not their job. Their job is to be children and to absorb and learn that which their parents teach them. That's what their job is. You're teaching them through good example. Thank you, Emerald. Through good example, how to follow underneath proper leadership, system, order, and structure that is set by your husband. My job as the wife was to take that leadership and apply it to the children, thereby teaching the boy what leadership and system, order, and structure looks like and how to create his own, and teaching the girl how to follow proper leadership, system, order, and structure. But it's not only the son-husband dynamic. There's another dynamic. Put a 1 in the chat before we go. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to know the other dynamic. Put a 1 in the chat. The daughter husband. Not the daughter wife. The daughter husband. Teaching the daughter to be both a daughter and a husband to that woman, to the mother. Teaching her daughter how to provide for her, problem solve for her, protect her, and procreate. And by procreate in this sense, whenever I'm talking about procreation, parent to child, I'm not talking about sexual, obviously. I'm talking about the affection, the care, the emotional connections is what I'm talking about. This is how Black women grow up as little girls in masculine energy. Because when we take a look at the 4 P's, what do it say right at the top? It say the essence of male nature. That is masculine energy. All day, every day. So if she doesn't have a son, she'll create the daughter husband. Y'all better hear what I say today. Y'all better hear what I say today. If she doesn't have a son to make a son husband, she'll make the daughter husband. And if she has more than one daughter, she'll do it to the eldest. So you grow up as a little girl and as a teenage girl in masculine frame, in masculine energy. You don't even know it's masculine. You think that's what you're supposed to be doing with your mama. You think that's a normal interaction and interpersonal relationship between yourself and your mother and any siblings that you have. That's why so many Gen X girls raise their siblings. Y'all didn't hit me today. Y'all didn't hit me today. Daughter husbands. Anyway, today's show was brought to you by A Game. If you want to become part of the A Game family, all that you have to do is click the link at the top of the chat, agameherbal.com, and get your 10% discount using the code Kendra10. So fellas, I don't know what you're waiting on. Ladies, I don't know what you're waiting on either. Go ahead and click the link and become part of the A Game family and have this box of awesomeness delivered to you ASAP. Once again, I'd like to thank everyone for coming through. Your generous contributions through Super Chat, through Cash App. Okay, your time, your attention, your likes, your shares. And a warm thank you to my team, without which none of this is possible. So thank you so much. I'm going to wrap this up and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye-bye, Crimsonites. Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor, who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.